Okay.
Okay, so for the speaking class, what's going to happen, Vivian, is we're just gonna practice all
Okay.
throughout, okay?
Okay.
However, there will be no homework for speaking because we have to do all the tasks in class, okay? For writing, we will discuss how it goes later for our writing class, okay? But for today, we're just gonna practice, okay? As many practices as we can,
Okay.
okay? All right, so the practice is from question 1 to question 4. We will discuss and then we will try again one more time. Is that
Okay.
clear to you?
Clear.
Okay, all right. Let me just share my screen first. Okay, so yep. I will try to share to you some of the questions next time, but I'm not yet done preparing all the questions for our future lesson, so I cannot give the PowerPoint for you
Okay.
first. Okay, so we'll just stick with our practices. Okay, all right. So for question 1 and question 4, I will not show the screen because you just have to listen to the
Okay.
questions. Okay, all right. Let me just clear out my screen. Do you have pen and paper with you?
Yes, I have prepared the note and the
Okay.
pen.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. So, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. We'll start with task 45. So, every question, activity, or practice has a name. So, the first 4 questions will be named task 45. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's begin with, let's have question number 1. So, let me just share my screen for question 1. So you won't see anything on question 1. You just have to listen carefully.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's begin for question 1 and good luck.
Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Artists and musicians are important to a society. Use details and examples to explain your answer.
Okay. You have 15 seconds to prepare. You may start. Good luck. Okay. Time's up. You have 45 seconds to speak. You may begin.
Okay. In my opinion, I think the museum is important for humans to know some knowledge because the museum collect every history pieces in the world so that our children, our next future generation can know what happened to the past. Um, Take myself for example. When I was little, our school take me to the outside visit. So we went to the museum, and I saw a lot of history history product.
Okay. All right. Time's up. Okay. All right. We'll discuss later on, but we'll have
Okay.
to proceed to question 2. Okay. Okay. All right. We'll go to question 2. So you have 50 seconds to read the article, and then after that, we will discuss. Okay. All
Okay.
right. Let's start and good luck. Okay. Time's up. Right. Let's go to the listening part. Okay. And let's begin. Good luck.
Now listen to two students discussing the letter.
I disagree with his idea.
Why? It doesn't sound like it's doing very much business.
That's probably because he goes during the day, but in the evening...
Oh, people go.
A lot of people. Students are really busy during the day with classes, jobs, and studying. But at night, the place is often pretty full. Students get together there all the time.
Really?
Yeah, it's not until nighttime that students actually have the time to sit down and relax. You know, enjoy a hot drink and something to eat while hanging out or reading for class.
So you can read in there.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. That used to be a problem, but recently they did some renovations, and now I think the lighting's as good as it is in the library.
Really?
Yeah, and not just at a few tables. Just about every table's got good lighting now.
Sounds like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Definitely not.
Okay.
The woman disagrees with the student's proposal for the coffee house. Explain the proposal and the reasons she gives for disagreeing with it.
You have 30 seconds to prepare. You may start. Good luck. Okay, time's up. All right, you have 60 seconds to present. And Vivienne, you may start. Good luck.
According to the letter, the student suggests the university should close the coffee house. And in the conversation, the woman disagrees with the letter because she thinks that during the nights, there are full of people in the coffee house because at daily light, the student always taking the class. So when the evening, student can finally relax and eat something and prepare for the class. And also, the coffee house has improved their light problem so that the light is like a library. So that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's proceed to the next one.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go with question 3. So 50 seconds as well to read first. You may begin, Vivienne. Good luck. Okay. All right, time's up. Let's go with the listening part. Okay, good luck.
Now listen to part of a lecture on this topic.
So how would this work? Well, let's say you need to learn the names of the planets in order by distance from the sun. So first, think about the landmarks you pass as you walk from, say, your dormitory to the student center. The first one might be the front door of your dormitory, then the big tree in front of the dorm. The next landmark you pass might be the statue in front of the library. Next, the steps to the science building. You get the idea. You memorize the major points along the walk, imagining yourself going from the first landmark to the second, the third, and so on. Now, the next thing you do is assign one planet to each of your landmarks in sequence. Since Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, you assign it to the first landmark, the front door of your dorm. The next planet, Venus, to the tree in front of the dorm. The third planet, Earth, You assign to the third landmark, the statue in front of the library, and so on and so on. And each time you picture the association in your mind as vividly as possible. Then, later, say you're sitting in the classroom taking a test, and you have to write the order of the planets from the sun. What do? You imagine yourself on that familiar walk to the student center, passing each landmark as usual. When you think about walking out the door of your dorm, you're reminded of Mercury. When you see the beautiful tree in front of the dorm, you think of Venus. At each landmark along the way, you recall the next planet and write it down.
Okay.
Using the professor's example, explain how the method of loci is used to recall information in sequence.
Okay, you have 30 seconds to prepare and you may start. Good luck. Okay, time's up. All right, you have 60 seconds to present as well. Okay, you may begin. Good luck.
In the class, the professor mentioned a method of loci, and he also explained how it works. First, professor gave an example that if a student wants to remember some of the plants' name, and they can mark some trees or the front door of the dorm, so that when the student go to the library, they can also recall, okay, and the front door is the sun, and the tree is the Mercury, something like that, so that when the student in the class, they can easily recall the planets, how they work.
Okay, all right, that's it. Thank you so much. Let's
Okay.
go to 4 this
Okay.
time. Okay, let me just, yep, you won't see anything on number 4, so you'll just have to listen carefully. Okay, all right, let me just play the audio and good luck.
Listen to part of a lecture in a marine biology class.
So we've talked a little about how fish use senses like vision, touch, and so forth. But what I want to talk about now is a special ability some fish have, the ability to produce electricity in their bodies. You're probably familiar with these fish that send out electric currents from their bodies naturally. So what's the purpose of this? Well, as you might expect, it can serve some important roles in helping fish survive. First, fish, like all animals, need food to survive. Well, the ability to produce electricity helps some fish to capture prey. You know, other organisms in the water that they eat. Take the electric eel, for example. The eel produces a strong electric current in its body. When the eel comes into contact with one of the smaller fish it depends on for food, the electric current that it sends out shocks the smaller fish and paralyzes it. It's not able to get away from the eel. The eel captures the fish easily and can eat it at its leisure. So this ability to use electricity to capture prey ensures that the eel gets the food it needs to survive. The ability to produce electricity also helps fish to successfully navigate their environment by detecting nearby objects. Some fish have poorly developed eyes, and the water they live in can be muddy and dark. Now, there's a fish called the knife fish that produces electricity. This creates an electric field around the knife fish's body. When the knife fish swims close to, say, a rock, it senses a disturbance, an interference in its electric field. The fish then realizes that there is a rock nearby and that it has to avoid crashing into it. Once this happens, the knife fish swims away from the rock and thus avoids harming itself.
Okay.
Using the examples of the electric eel and the knife fish, explain how producing electricity benefits certain fish.
Okay, 20 seconds. You may start. Good luck. Okay, time's up. All right, you have 60 seconds to present. You may begin.
In marine biology class, the professor mentioned two kinds of fish that use electric current to survive. And in the first example, the professor mentions that electric eel can use electric current to capture the prey so that the prey won't have the chance to get away easily. In the second example, the professor mentioned a kind of fish and it will use the electric to censor the thing around him so that he won't be able to hit by the rock. That's it.
That's it? Okay. I see. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for your answers. Are you okay there?
I will be nervous, so
A
I
little bit nervous. Why?
speak fast because in the test I always feel nervous.
Ah, okay. That's
So
okay. That is normal.
I'm afraid I can't say the whole answer in time. So I
Mm,
choose to speak faster.
I see, I see. That's okay. That is totally fine. Okay. We'll just try to discuss your answers first. Okay. So here's question number one. So for question number one, your
Yes.
answer should be about artists and musicians.
Not the
Oh,
museum.
not the museum. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. That is not the only time that I think you misheard. I think also for question number three, you misheard as well. So we'll
Okay.
talk about question number three later on. Okay. But yeah, you'll have to change your answer in here. How will you change your answer?
Artist and magician.
That they are important to a society.
Okay. In my opinion, I think artists and musicians, they are important to society because they have different artwork can express to human, and so the human can feel how their works emotion. And take myself for example, I love to go to some
Sorry?
grocery. Is that right?
What's
Yes.
that?
The
Would
place
you do
is the painting.
sorry?
It's a place feel of the painting or the painting.
Sorry, how do you spell it?
Oh, let me check the dictionary because
Maybe you want to say gallery?
gallery, yes, gallery.
Okay, gallery. Okay, go on.
I love to go gallery to see some painting. Through the painting, I can feel the emotion that the artists want to express, and it always gives me a lot of emotion, so that I can I get I can get the inspiration from
Mm,
their work.
mm, mm-hmm. Okay.
Then I
And
think
then,
it can help me improve my own design, or it can
mm,
improve my design. Yes.
okay, I see, I see. All right. In this case,
Okay.
um, okay, they have different artworks, can express the human. Okay. All right, this is okay for me, but we have to work on with vocabulary and collocations, Vivian. Okay. For
Um,
example, some of your sentences are like not finished. Like you said, they have different artworks, and then your next sentence starts with can. Okay. Um, Probably you'll have to use what do you call that? Conjunctions.
oh, conjunction.
You know conjunctions, right?
And
Like
uh,
and so and then yeah, something like that. Or let's just say transitional devices also, you know that? Like
transition.
also next, then after the following this,
Uh-huh.
finally, yeah, to to arrange your answers. Because from what
Oh,
I heard, like some of your answers are chunk, like it's not in full sentences. Okay,
okay.
which somehow this like distracts the grammar form. Okay, because
Okay.
when you use transitional devices, it gives the person a sign that you are moving to a different topic
Uh,
already. Okay. So how will you answer this one? You can say that you have to say first if you agree or disagree. So
oh,
you
I just
agree.
said in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah, okay, all right. So in my opinion, I agree that artists and musicians are important to a society. Okay,
Okay.
because so you go directly to your reasons. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Like this one is too long actually. Like they have different artworks can express the human, the human can feel how their works and then emotion. So you'll have to give like just one reason.
One reason.
You have to pick one. What would be your final reason?
Get the inspiration.
Okay. All right. So you can say like people, like let's say like what was that? What was your sentence?
I said through the painting, I
Uh-huh.
can get inspirations from them.
Okay. Let's start first with your sentence. So I agree that artists and musicians are important to
Okay.
a
Yes. Society.
society. If this is too long because it takes time, you can just use they. I agree that they are important to a society because
Oh,
people can, what was that? Get
get
inspiration
get the inspiration from their works.
from their works. Okay. Take me, for example.
Give me, for example,
Yes, okay. I go to a gallery,
gallery.
okay, to see some painting. Okay, through those paintings,
I can get inspirations from.
we already used inspiration, okay? So
Uh,
we'll go directly with your reason. Okay, through those paintings, it can help me improve
improve
my
my
own design. Design for your
my
work, for study.
yes.
Okay, all right. My own design for, let's just say, for study or
Okay.
work. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me just write this down. Okay. Task 45. No worries. I'll try to write it down here.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, you can just. Okay. Did you see it on the chat box?
Oh,
Yes, I wrote it
okay.
there so you can try to practice. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's how you will be answering task 45, question 1. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you don't need to give a lot of details, Vivian. Just
Okay.
give one an example and how it helps you. Okay. Just
Okay.
those three. Questions here for question 1?
Say again,
Sorry, do
please.
you have questions for question
Oh,
1?
no.
No? All clear?
Yes.
Okay, then,
Okay.
yes, we will go to question 2 this
Okay.
time. Okay, so for question 2, we have here the coffee house, right? Okay, what was your answer? Okay, so the woman disagrees with the proposal for the coffee house because of some reasons. Okay, there were actually 2 reasons. Okay, one is students always go to school in the morning, so there are no students who go to the coffee house at that time. Second, the lighting is fixed already, so it's as good as you read
Library.
when you are in a library. Okay, yes, that would be your 2 reasons. Okay, but how will you say that when you answer? Okay, there's no problem with your answer. However, probably with subject verb agreement, we'll have to work on that. Okay, can you try to say your answer one more time?
Okay. Um, according to uh, according
According
to
to.
the letter,
Mm-hmm.
the student um the student Wait a second, let me think about it. Uh, according to a letter, the student proposed the university should close the coffee house.
Mm-hmm.
When in the conversation, the woman
Mm-hmm.
disagreed with this letter because
Mm-hmm.
of the reason. In the
Mm-hmm.
first reason, she mentioned when at night,
Mm-hmm.
coffee house always full of people
Mm-hmm.
because in the day, usually people will go to a class, so
Mm-hmm.
it's empty.
Mm-hmm.
In the night, the student can relax
Mm-hmm.
and get some food to eat
Mm-hmm.
and relax themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The second reason, um, the light problem also be solved because
Mm-hmm.
the light in the coffee house is as good as library.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I see. All right. Your answer was quite too short, actually, or was it too
Okay.
long? Yeah. So probably we'll have to work on with the structure of your answer. First, let's start with your transitional devices. So I
Okay.
always hear in the first reason, I think you need to use a shorter one, like more natural expressions, like to begin with, firstly, to start. For second reason, you can say then, also, and following this. Yeah. But it's okay. Let's just take it slow. Okay. When you try
Okay.
to practice your
Okay.
transitional devices. Okay. Um what we need to work on is probably, yeah, just the subject verb agreement. Yeah, during the night, the what do you call it? The coffee house is full of people because the students are always busy taking classes in the morning. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Second, the coffee house has fixed the lighting already, so it's as good as when you read in a library.
Yeah.
However, you weren't able to close your answer properly. Like you say, that's it. Okay? We'll have to work on that. I think I mentioned last time how to
To
close.
make a conclusion
Yes.
is
How would you write your conclusion here?
okay. Um, above all the reason, this
Mm-hmm.
is why the woman disagree with this later.
Above all the reason,
Um,
that is too long. But because when you say above this reason, there is still one more that you want to talk about. Okay, like the most important reason. Okay, but we don't have another reason because we already mentioned the 2
yeah.
reasons, right? So probably you'll have to change your conclusion statement. So you can just say like, so I this is why the woman
This
disagrees with the proposal. Okay, that's it. Yeah, you just have to use the instruction here below. Okay. For
Okay.
example, like number one, like, so that's why musicians and artists are important to a society. So you just use the question as your conclusion. Okay.
This is why they are important to a
Mm, yeah.
social
Society.
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 Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's try with, yeah. Can you tell your answer one more time?
And question 2.
Yeah. Question 2, please.
Okay. Okay. According to a letter,
Letter.
the student proposed that the university should close the coffee house.
Mm-hmm.
In the conversation, the woman disagreed with this letter.
Mm-hmm.
She said, first, the coffee house were during the night, they are full of people. They are usually relaxed and eat some food because at the
Sorry.
at the
Well, they can you repeat the daytime part, like in the morning,
yes because in the morning
in the morning?
the student usually go to the class, so
Mm-hmm.
the coffee house is empty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, maybe I should first mention the day and then go to the
To the
night.
night. Yes, that's what I was looking for.
Maybe this better. Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Um, the woman mentions that during no in the morning
Mm-hmm.
the coffee house are
Is empty
is
because
empty because the student usually go to a class.
okay.
During the evening,
Mm-hmm.
the student will come to the coffee house
Go to the coffee house.
the student will go to the coffee house, enjoy their time
Mm-hmm.
and eat some food
Mm-hmm. Okay, to
and
relax. Uh-huh.
to relax.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, the the lighting problem also being solved.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Sorry, also been ah has been solved.
also have been solved.
Okay, also have been solved. Yes. Okay.
Lighting problem has also
Also been
been solved.
solved. Okay. All right. Then
It is good as you reading in a library.
it is good as when you are reading.
And it is as good as when you're reading in the library.
Yes. Okay. In the library. Okay. It is as good as when you're reading in the library. Yeah. We'll have to focus on your sentence structure. There are some words missing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, yep. And then how will you end your sentence?
Oh, okay. This is why the woman disagree with this proposal.
Okay. That's how we will end. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Questions here or clarifications for question 2?
No.
No questions. Okay. Then we'll go to question 3 this time. Okay. This time we have method of loci.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier in question 1 that you misheard the question. Same with
Yeah.
number 3. I think you heard plant. I think you said plants instead
Oh.
of planets. Yes, actually,
I can understand it's planets, but I just say plants.
plants. Yeah, which was quite confusing, but I think yeah, you got it. Yeah, it's just that yeah, we cannot turn back the time. We cannot change your answer anymore, right? Okay, let's uh try to repeat your answer, please.
Okay. In the class, the professor mentioned a method of loci, and
Mm-hmm.
he also explained how it works.
Mm-hmm.
That, for example, a student wants to go to the library. and he
Mhm.
will then mark the dorm house. So he can mark the house as the sun. And then when
Mhm.
he passes by a tree, he can landmark the tree as a Mercury. And
Sorry,
so
he can landmark? No. He can mark.
he can mark. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, but if you go with that example, that's too long
Uh,
already. Okay? So you'll just have to give one example. Let's say
uh,
method of loci is about what do you call this? Like how to remember. So he gave an example of how to remember some planets by marking landmarks. For example, he mentioned like how a student goes from what was that? From the dorm to the student center,
students.
right? Yeah, so
Uh,
he gave that, let's say, the sun will be blah blah blah, and then next planet Mercury would be blah blah blah. Okay, so you don't need to give all the examples there because it would be too long. Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. So just that one. And then how will you end your sentence?
okay. This is how the law side works.
This is how the method of
Law side
loci
works.
works. Okay. All right. Okay. But this one is too long. Okay. So this is how method of loci is used to recall information in sequence. Okay. So you'll have to work on the conclusion. Okay. Okay. All right, but that's a good try already. Okay, we'll just have to be very mindful of this one. And the are different. If our topic is method of loci, then you will use the.
No, the
Okay. The
Oh,
method of loci.
I
Okay.
see.
Any title that is mentioned here, you will use the
Okay.
because they are the subject of your sentence. Okay. Okay. Questions here or clarifications?
Um,
Sure.
can Chrisley give me the example answer
What do you
of this
mean?
question?
You want me to give an example answer
Yes,
for this
yes,
one?
yes.
Oh, okay.
How will you answer this question?
Why? You have to
Because
use your own answer for this one, not mine.
maybe I can get some idea from that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. So should I start from the beginning?
Okay.
Okay, all right. Then we'll try with yes, okay. So yeah. Okay. So the article talked about method of loci. Okay. Loci, which is about which talks about recalling information. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So the professor gives an example, which is let's give yes, which is how to recall or how to memorize planets by using landmarks on a school to a sorry on a school ground from a dormitory to a student center. So he mentioned let's try first. He mentioned that every landmark stands for a planet. Okay, for example, Mercury, sun will be the let's say blah blah blah. Okay, whatever landmark, then Mercury will be this and that. Okay. All right. So so on and so forth. Okay. So that's how method of lossy helps recalling information in sequence. Okay. Is that clear to you?
Yes, very clear.
Okay. All right. Let me
Thank you so
just sure
much.
thing. Yes. Let me just
Okay.
what they call that? Okay. Try to write it down. Sample answer.
Okay.
Like, okay. All right. Then we'll try your answer, please.
Okay. Okay. In the class, the professor mentioned the method of low side and
Mm-hmm.
also explained how it works.
Mm-hmm.
First, he mentioned the student will use this method to recall some planets.
Uh-huh.
For example, the student wants to go to a certain place and
Mm-hmm.
he will mark something. Like
Mm-hmm.
when he passed the door, he will
Mm-hmm.
remember the door as the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And when he passed the tree, he will mark the tree as the Mercury and so
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
And when the student take the test, he will
Mm-hmm.
successfully recall all the memory of the planets. This is
Mm-hmm.
how the low
Mm-hmm.
side works.
Mm-hmm. Recall the memory.
Recall the memory.
Okay. Okay. Recall information. Okay. Yes. Okay. But that's a good try. It was a more organized answer this time. Okay. Questions for question 3, Vivienne? None?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go to question 4. So question 4 is about
Mm.
fish.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Couple of fish that produces electricity. Okay. So there were 2 answers.
Yes.
The first one is it's about survival, like how do they get food, right?
Yes.
And second is how to navigate. Okay.
Yes.
So
Navigate.
your answer was they were okay. Probably for example 2 about the navigation of the environment was quite short. So let's try to recall your answer, please.
Okay. In the second example, the
Mm-hmm.
professor mentions there's a kind of fish. It can use the electricity to
Mm-hmm.
provide itself heat on the rock.
Sorry.
The-
Hit on the rock. There are a lot of vocabulary words. So it says like creates an electric field.
to
Uh,
describe
not yet. Okay. So when the fish is close to a rock, it sends a disturbance.
disturbance.
Okay, and signals the fish, and it makes it avoid collision. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
collision.
collision or bumping to each other.
Bumping.
Okay. So there are a lot of vocabulary words, so you really have to be very attentive to these kinds of words. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So how will you end this answer?
Okay. This is how electric current help the fish to survive
Mm-hmm. Survive. Okay.
betterly, survive
Okay.
easily.
Okay. All right. Okay. So can you repeat it again? This is how.
This is how electricity help fish to survive easily.
Okay, easily. Okay, easier would be a better term
Oh,
there.
easy. Okay.
Okay. All right. Questions here or clarifications, please?
No.
None. Okay. All right. We're actually done with our practice today, Vivian, but we still have some time. So I'd like to take note of the time. Okay, we have to be very mindful of your speaking time because I think you ran out of time twice. Twice. I think
Yeah.
for question 2 and question 3. Yeah, your answer for question 4 was not really that long as well, so didn't really run of time. Okay, so yeah. Try to control? Because you can see the time. Did you see the time that I always put here when you're speaking?
Actually, I mentioned the time
Mm,
be late.
late. Okay. I see.
I see the time.
You see the
And
time. Yeah. Okay. Because
um,
usually before I don't show the time for you to be able to practice like speaking faster, but then I realized that it might not be very helpful if I
uh,
show it. Okay. So because you won't be able to control the pacing of your answer. As well. That's why I decided to just show the
okay.
time on screen. Okay. So we'll continue with showing the time. And
Okay.
then yeah, we'll just try to continue working that one. Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to ask before we go?
Okay. Here's the thing. I have correcting and rewriting my writing. So I upload it to
What do
the
you mean?
the TOEFL writing class.
TOEFL
Uh,
writing class? Huh?
last time we have what is it called?
You don't need to rewrite it because I already corrected that one. Yes.
Oh,
Because if we're gonna always correct that, then we're not gonna end.
oh,
Okay. So once I correct it, you don't need to rewrite that one. Okay. As long as you know that I made corrections. Because yeah, this one you mean?
yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to correct anymore because I already wrote here the corrections. Okay. Yes, I just wrote some notes there for you to be able to like be very mindful of what were my suggestions. But other than that, you don't need to submit it to me one more time. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. Okay, because we have to check like just once actually. Okay, we don't check twice or three times. Because what if I check it,
Mhm.
you submit, I still see a lot of mistakes, and then we check it
Uh,
again. So it's a never ending checking. Okay. So one
okay.
checking is enough as long as you know that those are the corrections that I mentioned. Okay. Yeah. So we will discuss more of that later on.
Okay.
We will try to have your for the writing class later. Probably we'll try to because I think you mentioned that you want more of correction in class. We will try to check your answer
Okay.
earlier, okay? But then after that, we will not check anymore, okay? Only after I check, you don't need to submit one more time, okay? Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm not sure if we're gonna see each other next time, this week. Sorry, next week. Are we going to see each other next week?
I think next week we have a
We have a class also. Ah, okay. Oh, I think we only have one class next week.
the next Sunday, uh, April 2. April
Ah, okay. But what I'm trying to say is next week, March. March yet. I
March.
think we only have one. Okay, on the 29th. Okay. I see. All right. So because I think I mentioned that you have to choose one teacher only for one
Yes.
skill, right? Have you decided who will be your other teacher for
I'm still trying to
uh
find um,
uh-huh.
the teacher that
Okay. I see. Okay, so yeah, I'll just ask the staff about it because yeah, it might be difficult for you to face me all the time as
uh,
well. Okay? All right. Anyway, we will just end our session here and then yeah, we will discuss later on for your writing class, okay, in the evening. Okay? So thank you so much for joining me,
thank you.
Vivienne. I'll see you later and have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.